The enemy's always trying to twist who God is and how he wants to relate to us. And here what we see is that God does love us. He does care about us. The enemy is twisting, and we ourselves are twisting God's word. And it's all confusing. And it happens here in Genesis chapter 3, verse 6, that the woman was convinced. Genesis 3:6, she saw that the tree was beautiful and its fruit looked delicious, and she wanted the wisdom that it would give her. So she took some of the fruit and she ate it. Then she gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it too. Just keep that up there for a second. I've said this 1,000 times. I think if you've been with us for 10 years, then you've heard it 10 times. I always imagined that Adam was off in the garden plowing. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know, picking weeds maybe. Running some mulch. He's got a wheelbarrow. I don't know what he's doing. But he's out working. And the enemy comes in because he's so sly. And he tries to tempt his wife while he's out, providing for the family. And he finds a secret sort of open spot here where his family's vulnerable. And while the husband is away, the enemy comes in to try to tempt. And do you know that that's not actually what it says? She gave some to her husband who was standing there with her, and he ate it too. This whole conversation is happening between her and the enemy, and the twisting of the words that the enemy does and the twisting of words that she does, and he's just standing there watching his bride get convinced by the enemy of what God didn't say and what God isn't like. Should I talk to husbands for a second or no? You're just going to stand there and let her believe that what she thinks about how that conversation went is the truth? I know you might get your head cut off, but what if you stepped in and said, I don't know, let's think about that. I just don't know if she meant it that way. Right? Because then you're not on her side. How tough is it? So put yourself in Adam's shoes. How tough is it to actually say, those sound like lies. Those sound like the enemy. I just don't think God feels that way about you. Or I don't think they're our friends. I don't think they meant that. I don't think that's not how they intended it. We got to try to give the benefit of the doubt here. Why is that so hard to do? I think because we're like our passive father figure, Adam, who just can't bring himself to sort of intervene in any way and just let the whole thing go down. Husbands, you're responsible to protect your family. You're responsible to look out for them. Wives have a measure of responsibility to do that too. This is a super sexist conversation here. I'm just saying, though, husbands, protect your family. If from nothing else, from the lies of the enemy. Don't let them infiltrate. Don't let those lies get into the heads and hearts of the people that you're responsible to care for. For me, that's my family. For me, that's also our church. And that's my responsibility as your pastor. It's also my responsibility as a husband, and it's also my responsibility as a father, is to not allow the lies of the enemy to infiltrate our minds and hearts, but to expose them and to try to lead us back into who God really is and what God has really said, back to his word.